We're back.
What's up, Mike?
Opening day. Jay Smooth on the screen. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to talk about a little baseball. Opening day is, maybe one of the best days of the year. We're looking forward to baseball season. It's almost 200 days of action. A couple breaks here and there, but we got a lot of stuff to bet on. There's going to be probably like 1,000 bets in the next 200 days for me. So very exciting, obviously. But let's not waste any time. Kind of get into it. I mean, are you looking at any of these games? We got day baseball in 3 hours. We got
baseball.
Golfing. I mean, it's a good day.
Yeah, it's awesome that for me anyway, it's awesome that it starts at the same time as the Masters. I just think that's kind of perfect. I would like that every year, same day, opening day, Masters. I just think it would make a lot of sense. It'd be pretty fun. But yeah, there's interesting schedule. We got a lot of weather already to talk about. 2 games have been postponed. Another one potentially, but probably not. Looks like it's going to end up going off just fine. We thought that there could be some trouble in the Chicago game, but pretty big wind issues. You want to start? We'll go game by game. How you want to do this?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I thought really quick I wanted to talk a little bit, I think at the top, about maybe what's on my mind with baseball opening really quick, because I mean, I don't know if you saw, but there's going to be humidors coming into more and more parks this season, which is going to be really interesting. We're coming off a season where so much happened in terms of the balls, right? Between Spider Tack and then having potentially 2 baseballs. Players didn't know which one they were getting. I actually have one of the lighter ones in my room. It's crazy the difference that you feel when you hold that new baseball. I don't know. I think we're going to have a little bit of another year where there's some unpredictable results, especially with, totals and which ball you get and the humidity. It's going to be a big year to pay attention to how batters perform in their splits, home and away. Always a huge deal in baseball, trying to get on those trends early, figure out who's performing well where. I don't know, but I think it's going to be a great year regardless. It's going to be a fun year. And I don't know. I'm diving into props a little bit more this year. So we'll definitely be talking a little bit more about those. Exciting though. Very exciting.
Very exciting, especially on the props. You mentioned it. There's not a ton of great same game parlay offerings, but there are a few. And it'll be interesting just kind of how we've played off some of the market efficiencies. Usually in sports betting, you're looking for inefficiencies in the market, but now when you can identify some of those efficiencies, I think that it can be beneficial. And it'll be interesting to see what we can find and what we can develop throughout the year and what is offered day one versus what is offered, at the middle point of the season. Because I would expect sports books to also be offering more or less potentially, depending on how that goes, because they've never really truly offered and seen the demand for the same game parlay like we have now, right? So
definitely.
That part's going to be fascinating to see.
Yeah, and I have one today. So we'll talk about my same game parlay today from this first game, actually. So if you are in the Discord, we are just giving out the premium roll right now for my stuff. Soon it might not be so free, but we are going to have some fun stuff there. I'll be betting most of the games. I don't have a feel for every single one today, but let's bring up your Sims, Mike, and we can get into it. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Cool. All right. Thanks for everyone who's tuning in. What's up? We got the Number Edge crew here today, because I don't think either of us fired off the tweet to the Twitter crew yet. So we got the small private, real nice show. I like this. All right.
No, I did send a little tweet out just there, but we are competing with Tiger Woods right now too.
That's fair. It's hard to compete with Tiger Woods.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
sure.
I didn't see. That's weird. I didn't see the tweet, but anyway. Not important. We got some interesting simulations. Let's start right at the top with the Chicago game. This is what? There's supposed to be 12, 14-mile winds blowing out of Wrigley. Something we love talking about all of last year is how these winds blow out. I mean, you have 10.9, but you said maybe that the weather data wasn't updated. What are you thinking right now?
Yeah, this is with weather data we were projecting last night. That definitely has changed just a little bit for us. So this number on the total is not entirely accurate here. Do still lean towards the over on the number that is out there. It's very fun because I've seen a lot of people on some props in this game, and I very much disagree with the props that I've seen a lot of people posting out there. A lot of people like Corbin Burns overs. I do not. I love the under on the 7.5 strikeouts. So I've seen a lot of people liking the overs on that one. I love the under on it. But yeah, in this spot, I still think we see some offense. It's cold. It's not the coldest game ever at Wrigley. But we still got that wind. So it's going to make it play relatively neutral to plus hitting environment still with two pitchers that, one's at least on the Kyle Hendricks side definitely can get lit up at times. Burns, he's obviously got massive upside in terms of the strikeout potential, but this number is definitely using old weather data. I would speculate that the new number would be around 10-2. It's not going to come down a full run. It's not going to come down anywhere near where the market is on it currently at this point, which is interesting because this time of year, if it was a wind in game or just zero wind at all, we would expect a total of 7.5. So we're definitely projecting it to have an impact. So I'm on the over here a little bit. I don't know how you feel about it. As far as the number in the game, I think that the Milwaukee side continues to be a little inflated at this point. I think this thing opened around minus 140. We're seeing minus 185s in the market now.
Looks like it.
Issue with it is that the way the line's juiced, it doesn't give us a ton of value on the Cubs either. 159 is the true line on the game. 150 is what I'm finding in the market. Not enough for me on opening day, not enough for me to want to play that kind of an edge.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any thoughts or feelings on this game?
Well, first of all, I wanted to just, for everybody who uses your simulations, the expected line, is that for the underdog value or the favorite value?
Both. It's the same number.
Oh, okay.
It's a true line. It's what the true line would be with no juice.
I got you. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you. Because people were asking. But anyway, I think that this game, especially, I'm not touching the side. I understand maybe the, if we're talking donkeys, it's MLB season, right? So we're going to talk about donkeys. We're going to try to string together the teams that maybe have some legit chance to get like a win even against their tough odds. I do think Milwaukee kind of falls into that place today, but I'm actually going to go with oh, wow, did this just jump to under 9 now? Am I seeing that?
Yeah, I know it's going way the other way. We have a pretty significant edge on it. Again, this number is not 10-9 anymore. It should be 10-2 roughly with the new weather data. But yeah,
I'm seeing 9 at FanDuel and under 9.5 is minus 125 at DraftKings right now. That's pretty interesting. I mean, so this morning I posted my picks. We played the under 5.5, or the under 5 was fine too in the first half, which is now at 4.5. But I really like that play. I mean, here's why, and you're going to hear me talk about it probably for the next 2 or 3 days. I think unders are going to come out with a nice boost, especially the first 5 unders. I'm definitely paying attention to first 5 unders to open the season because I can't speak today. The players have been playing down in these really warm climates, like Florida and in Phoenix or in Arizona down there. Like these are very different climates than what they're going to be playing in some of these cities, like Chicago. It's like 45 degrees. These guys have been hanging out in like 80-degree weather all day, and the pitches move differently, right? We're going to talk a lot about the way that air density impacts the way a ball travels, but if you go deeper, it actually impacts the way pitchers. The pitch moves and what the hitters grow to expect over time. It's that VMI stuff that I'm going to be blabbing on about all year. I think that it's going to be a big advantage for the pitchers all week because of that VMI stuff, because the way that the fastball is going to move now in this colder weather is going to be very different. Pitchers have not been able to blow fastballs by guys in the spring training games, just kind of how it works down there. It's not going to be the case. So if you have strong fastball pitchers, I think you want to look for those types of guys. If you have guys who maybe hit fastballs better, who didn't perform so well down in spring training, expect them maybe to progress to their means. This is something I'm definitely keyed in on, is this big transition from the warm spring training into the cold of opening day weather.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Also, you have to really track the weather, because that LA game today, absurd. 95 degrees,
Right.
going to be 87 at first pitch. That's going to play
hot in LA, baby.
Yeah, it's going to play very different, like 3 months ahead of time, basically. 2
Yeah.
months ahead of time. Crazy.
For sure.
Crazy. Let me see. Any other? Basically, I'll ask. I was going to type it, but
Sure.
I'll go ahead and address the question. Explain the true line. The true line is just what the line should be without any juice. So when you go look at the sports book here, my true line should be 159. You're paying minus 185 on the Brewers, plus 150 on the Cubs. That's with the juice in there. So that's basically what you're looking at. It's a juice-free line. That's what the efficient line from the simulation should be on the game.
I'm seeing it moving towards the Brewers right now. Oh, no, that's the first 5 line, and I'm just being dumb. Good morning. Okay.
I mean, it's moved massively towards the Brewers.
Yeah. I thought it just moved a little more. Any thoughts on this, Mike, on spring training and how we're accounting for shortened spring training? I mean, for me, it's really just kind of easing into this season more so than usual. Trying to get my bearings, play on things that maybe aren't so necessarily on how I think a pitcher or specific team's going to do. I don't really look at the results of spring training games. I don't know, Mike, any thoughts there?
Yeah, no, I don't pay attention much to spring training personally. And then I will say, for the first 10 days of the season, typically the largest bet that I will have is 0.3 units. So I have a full 0.3 unit play, which would be a full unit play later in the season. So if you want to play it as a full play, go for it today. But for me, it's 0.3 units for the first 10 days is a full play. You'll see tons of 0.1 to 0.3 for me. Just have to ease in. We still don't actually know which baseball is being used. We still don't know a lot of different things at this point. So I will collect a little bit of data on that. Still play what edges we have from the way that we model the games. But I would not recommend, unless you enjoy the gamble, I would not recommend playing full units, at least for the first 3 games of each team playing.
For sure. Yeah, I think you definitely want to see how certain pitchers are looking. You want to see how their statistics comes back on literally how they're throwing, how players are hitting, what they're swinging against, what their rates are starting to look like, how that's going along with what you expect from them, where they're playing in the batting order. There might be some reason to think that managers might shift things around in the first week if they don't like how it looks in a game. And I don't know, we don't really know fully defined roles with a lot of players. I mean, we're talking about some dynasty stuff, and it's just I don't even think the Cleveland Guardians have a full outfield. I don't know. I think they're starting a rookie in Kwan. I don't really know who he is, but it's going to be an interesting start to the season. So, yeah, taking it easy is smart.
Yep. Kansas City and Cleveland. This game is.
I wanted to give out the other plays that I had on that game really quick, Mike.
Yeah, go for it.
So I'm also going to go ahead and there's a boost on the NFR on the no-run first inning play for this game on DraftKings, and I really like that boost, plus 140. I already liked it at plus 100. Again, I'm talking a lot of taking this really on the idea that these pitchers are going to come out and be doing better than expected. I like a lot of no-run first innings with these aces pitching. Again, am I sold that Hendricks is an ace? No. But am I sold on the Brewers offense? Also, no. I don't know if we remember too much about their series against Atlanta, but they couldn't score. And again, if this is really good pitching weather, which it is with, bats coming in from really good hitting weather, it's really hard to transition. This is part of why we fade the Rockies on the road, right? Because they go from really good hitting conditions to really bad hitting conditions, and the players really feel it. This is what's going on with every batter right now, basically. So don't be surprised if we don't get a run in the first inning. The pitchers come out being able to pitch that fastball. I like it here, even with that wind. Yeah, fly ball could ruin it. It's very, very possible. But especially with that plus 140 boost, I really like this one. And then I'm going to take, like I said, we got the first 5 under 5.5 this morning. It's gone. You can't get it now. But that's why you want to be seeing my plays when they come out at 8 in the morning or even earlier on the Discord. And then last is that same game parlay I was talking about. I'm going to take Burns to get 5 or more strikeouts, Brewers plus 1.5 runs, and then Yelich to get a hit. And that's going to return minus 105. So I think Yelich should be able to get a hit off Hendricks today. Kendrick, interesting. I'm in a Kendrick Lamar phase, I guess. But yeah, I do think Christian Yelich is probably going to have a bounce back year. That's one of my weird positions. But yeah, I think does his struggles in the first worry me? No, because batters aren't really warmed up. I think he's going to be able to manufacture, 3 outs, probably give a base hit or maybe a walk. But for the odds you're getting, I like the chance. Like, that's the thing. It's, I do like what the weather is going to do for this game today. All right, so we can move on now. Thanks.
Yep, no, you're good. I have to say I don't agree with the play, but we'll see what happens.
You think a run comes in the first inning? You think it's going to be Hendricks is giving one up?
I do. I think Burns gets hit up today, personally. But wow. I'm very much, like I said, everyone loves the over on the strikeouts. I very much disagree.
Well, that's why I milked it down to 5, because I think it's at 6.5 is his actual line. So we're at 4.5, which is just very different. And so that's in the same game parlay. So again, we're playing it from a couple different ways. This is the game I have the most plays on because, it starts in 3 hours and I'm not doing anything at 2 p.m. So it's going to be fun. Yeah, I know the boost can make you nervous, but if they never hit one, no one's going to take them. So they do have to hit at a decent clip. And you know what? If I was already on it at plus 100, why wouldn't I take it? It's going to be a bad bet if I lose either way, but I'd rather take plus 140. So let's go.
Yep. I'm not saying I think it's the kind of performance. It's kind of why I like Burns on the under. I think it's that performance where we do see 6 or 7 strikeouts from Burns. Right. But also gives up 4 runs in the process in the first 5 innings of this game from him.
Well, something that I think is interesting is that, comment in the chat about them both being sinker ball pitchers. I think that is going to be a sinker ball is like a type of fastball. So I do think it's going to be able to get by hitters better than people expect today, which is what gives me that confidence in this play. Again, this is a lot based on these guys coming out into 45-degree weather and not having played in 45-degree weather in Chicago for a minute. They haven't, spring training just finished. I think it's hard to do. So we play a lot on these scenarios all year. Players leaving good hitting scenarios and going into bad ones. They might need a third of the game. The second way through the rotation might be a lot better. The third time through the rotation might be a lot better. Through the lineup, through the lineup might be a lot better. Welcome to baseball season, Justin. But I'm really excited for that first inning. I think the rust is, as Mr. Pivot's saying, is going to be on the hitters. So let's take the no run first inning and the under first 5.5.
Yep. All right, we're gonna move on at a little quicker pace throughout the
rest for sure. I have a lot less on every other game. So
Bieber and Greinke. We've got Cleveland, the Guardians now playing the Kansas City Royals. Massive weather spot in this one, and this is the most pivotal weather spot of the day, which might sound a little crazy because we always talk about Wrigley wind games, and then we talk about the elite hitting environment we're going to see tonight in LA. This one is crazy because the wind. It is in a spot that it could be, for certain parts of the game, a direct crosswind that does not help at all. And for certain portions of the game, it could be a 25 mile per hour wind out to right. It's going to be 20 to 30 miles per hour as far as whether it's impacting directly across or slightly pushing the ball to right. Can have a massive impact on this game. And we have some of that data and we'll continue to monitor it, but you simply do not know until the game is being played what it's going to be. So that one I will be watching very, very closely. And that will definitely be a game that I'll be looking to live bet. I thought that we were going to have a little bit of betting value on Kansas City in this game. I was really expecting to see a little bit of value. The market is not super high on Bieber or the Guardians in this spot. I was fully expecting the market to move this thing. Just the way people like to bet, and especially a name like Bieber. I was fully expecting this one to still be in that minus 140 range, but it definitely, kind of opened around minus 140. We're back to minus 120. Not enough value for me to bet on them either at 126, but definitely one that I'm going to be watching my eye on because I personally am not a Shane Bieber believer at all.
Interesting. I took him pretty early in my dynasty draft, so I'm a little worried to hear you say that. And that's okay. That's okay though. I do think that this is an interesting candidate. I placed a bet on this game. Is what I should say. I have the under 7.5 today on this game. And again, the thing is that I got a good number, and I had plus 100 on under 7.5 this morning, and it's at minus 115 now on the consensus line. So I will take that every day of the week. Again, I just think this is such an interesting day in this cold weather with some, dense air too, in a lot of places, which is weird. To have the combination, but I do think that this one is going to be another low scoring game. Last couple times Bieber opened seasons, he might lose, but I don't really see these games getting past 6 or 7 runs. It's probably going to be a slow paced one today, another game where the rust is being shaken off. I do like the under 7.5. Yeah, paying minus 115 isn't great now, but if you can get minus 110, maybe find a minus 105, it's not the worst thing. But yeah, you could have gotten 8 minus 120 this morning. I don't know.
I'm going to play the over. I can tell you I'm playing the over. Oh yeah, I very much disagree on this.
So you should keep waiting though. You should keep waiting. You should try to
I'm not going to play it until live. It's going to be a live play.
I just knew we were going to beat that number.
Third inning, I'm looking at over 5.5, over 5s.
I like that. I didn't really like the first 5 line. I definitely do worry about like the bullpen, and I think honestly, I'll probably be looking for like a middle situation on that one. We'll definitely be on the Discord channel if I do take a middle during that game. I think it's a great candidate for it, especially if we get a good number. If it opens up with 3 slow innings, like you said, you can get a 5.5. I think it probably comes in at 6 or 7. Honestly, I think there's a good chance at 6 or 7 today. So that's my expectation is like a 2-3 game. Or like a 4-2 game.
Wainwright on the mound. Final Pujols season. We got Wainwright, Yadier Molina. Big emotional spot for the St. Louis Cardinals. Do they deliver in the big emotional spot? Are they on upset alert? My number on this is 212, which is interesting. I fully expected to be some value on the Pirates, and there's not, which is kind of crazy to me.
Well, the number came down, right? It opened at like minus 200, and now we're seeing like minus 180, right? So it's dropped about 20 cents, which is probably why you don't play things early. But yeah, I think the value was on the Pirates a while ago at plus 170. If you could have gotten that plus 170 line, like you should have snatched that up. Plus 165 is probably decent. It's definitely scary to be taking those plus money lines right now, but that's probably every reason to do it. Honestly, like when you're like most scared to take a line is probably when it's the best bet because that means like you're falling for it. So I don't know. I think the Pirates could end up winning this game. They have a lot of young talent versus a lot of old talent. You want to talk about who's going to be rusty versus who's going to be ready. I think you give it to the kids in a surprise spot. Plus 1.5 doesn't really scare me here. We always do like the plus 1.5 on the road, right? That minus 1.5 at home is honestly one of the scariest bets in baseball. Like plus 112 is not enough. The Cardinals can just be winning by 1. They could not really care about that extra man on second base scoring. If they're up by 2 late in the game, they finish the game, they win by 1, you lose your bet. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be trying to stay pretty far off run lines, and playing like first 5 totals under, totals over. Sometimes we are going with a total under here today, a full total under, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not really touching run lines all that much this year, unless they're like alternate run lines in donkey plays.
Yeah. If you followed on Discord, I played this game last night. Fortunately, we were able to beat the market on this one pretty good. We went from under 8 at minus 110 last night and 7.5's everywhere in the market here. But this is my game that I like the under on in this spot. I actually do agree a little bit on the slower offensive start potentially from St. Louis. I don't think Brubaker is that bad of a starting pitcher in this environment, in these conditions. The wind blowing out is not as concerning as the wind blowing out at Wrigley to me. So this one came in right at 7.6, but I did play it under 8 last night. I would not play it under 7.5 though.
Yeah, it's a crucial number. You don't want to lose that half run and take the loss condition at 8, definitely. And that's something that you should look at every total you play, obviously, all year. If you're only going to stop in and watch us once, that's a good piece of advice to take. But yeah, no, I'm not really touching this game. I'm going to probably also only play like a couple props in the Mets game. I don't really know what you think about that one. The true line is pretty solid there. No crazy edge. I do know that Corbin struggled against righties last year. And that's going to really be my play. I'm going to play on that today a little bit. I'm going to go with a nice 2-leg little same game parlay on 2 of the better right-handed hitters on this team. Well, one of the better right-handed hitters, and the other one is Juan Soto. Soto to get a hit on opening day, I like, and then Nelson Cruz, the right-handed hitter, should be in a good spot to knock a double. If you want to go bigger on it and go over 1.5 total bases for Cruz, I don't hate that either. I think if he's getting a hit, he's probably going for a double. That's just kind of the way he is. But yeah, it should be a solid bet. They're getting plus 110 on both those guys to get a hit today. So I think that one comes in. I really like Juan Soto. I mean, he's going to be he's like already like the odds-on favorite to win the MVP, and unless he gets hurt, it should be a lock. So he's a beast. Can't wait to watch him play for sure.
Yeah, this game is one that I love for DFS.
Interesting.
We'll talk about it a little bit. Yeah, it's great pitching environment overall still. But I think both these pitchers are terrible in terms of being opening day type starters. Yeah. I think they're terrible. Corbin is interesting, though. He's someone we have to watch. We'll be looking to bet live on some of his stuff all year. Incredibly high variance. He's someone who was an true elite ace, completely lost form. We'll see if he's able to battle back and be anywhere near what he used to be. But when things go south for him, they go south very, very, very quickly. So we're going to be watching that pretty heavily. But I do not think either of these pitchers is worthy of a top 4 spot in a rotation. That's how low I am on both of these.
No, I definitely don't disagree. Corbin is not very good. This game definitely has over potential. If you want to take, I feel like the Mets are a little bit overrated a bit. Everyone's really excited about their offense, but they're still the Mets to me. I got to see it to believe it, I guess. But I do think that you could probably take the Mets team total over against Patrick Corbin, and that Washington bullpen was not good last year. I don't think they made that many upgrades to it. I could be off, but they were really not a good bullpen. So I might add that to my plays today. I might take that at like 0.1 just because I like taking the things that I say out loud with a lot of conviction when they make sense to me. Sometimes I like inform myself of a bet I like. It's hilarious. But yeah, I'm probably going to go ahead and like sprinkle a little bit on the Mets team total over today because Corbin and that bullpen just probably give up 5 runs at a good rate. So next game is really interesting here with Cincinnati and Atlanta. This is the world champ opening up this game, but Tyler Mahle was one of the best pitchers on the road last year. But of course, Cincinnati offense is kind of weak. They don't really have all that much, and they played a lot better at home too. Great American Ballpark, one of the best parks. Not that Truist isn't bad. I don't know. What's your take on this one, Mike?
Yeah, Truist is one of the better hitting environments for sure. As far as the game, it's approaching. I mean, it makes sense with what we're seeing. You see this a lot anytime you see numbers this big. We're seeing the Reds sharp side in the market, just like the Pirates. Classic example of one where at the open, we didn't have value to bet the game. But now that the market is settled and spoken and basically said these two sides are sharp, we've seen the movement. We're starting to see value again on the Atlanta side, just like we're seeing value on the St. Louis side. from the simulation numbers. So that'll be one that's always interesting to watch. I haven't pulled the trigger on them yet. I think that you can if you want to. It'll definitely be ones that we'll be looking to make in-game plays on, potentially even as those numbers come down just a little bit. But yeah, I would definitely lean towards the favorite on this one. Believe it or not.
Yeah, I agree.
I like Max Fried a lot.
I do too. Definitely. Something that I'm interested in here again is though that the problem is that it's cold. It is cold in most of the country today, and that means dense air. And that means high density air, more dense than what we're used to seeing. I think that means like if you wanted to like blind bet unders today, I don't hate it. I know it's scary. We'll check in tomorrow how they do. I'll definitely be looking at season trends for sure. But I think it's a cold day in a lot of America, and if you're going to go find those cold weather games, that's going to help pitchers. It's not going to help batters much. And that's an edge. So we'll see. I'm excited to see how that prediction comes out. That's my first nice little prediction, is that today's going to be an under day. We'll see how I'm feeling as the year gets started. But all right, definitely lean again. I actually have. I don't know if you saw. I did a little parlay on your Sims. So I took the Cardinals money line because again you do have it a little higher. I took the Braves money line. And I took the Astros and I slapped an extra 2.5 runs on them. And I parlayed those together for a cute little 230 plus 230. I really like it. I think that St. Louis has a really nice chance to win. And I think that the Braves have a really nice chance to win. And the Astros losing by 3 would be surprising today. So let's get into that game. I mean, it's Shohei Ohtani, but you have them winning even though they're underdogs.
Yeah, definitely think Ohtani is inflated in the market. I know a lot of people like him. A lot of people bet futures on him. I can't disagree. I think he's great, right? However, in this spot, I think he's definitely overvalued against a very good team. This Astros team, I didn't think we would see the point in the season or a point in time necessarily where they were just super undervalued, but they're definitely undervalued in the simulations here. My number on it is 128, 56.2%, 56%. Pretty good edge. I gave this play on the Sportsline early edge today. I played it at plus 115 on the first 5 innings. It's nice to wake up today and see the market moving in the direction of the Sims that we posted last night. Not terribly surprised based on the size of the edge that we've seen on it, but this numbers, even on some of them that were plus 110, plus 115s, we're back to even money at this spot. So I think that this is a classic game that by the time this thing throws the first pitch, we're going to see minus 110 on both sides.
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, getting plus 110 this morning was awesome. So thank you for that. And the first 5, both great bets. This is still Houston. This is still one of the most complete and well-built teams in the American League versus the Angels, who are not that at all. Yeah, Ohtani's good, but Ohtani the batter is better than Ohtani the pitcher by like a good margin. Like it's really not debatable. So yeah, I think I'm with you on that game. Again, took the plus 2.5 runs. So yeah, we're gonna have the show every single day, basically, as much as we can. It's gonna be a busy baseball season. So you know what? I mean, I don't really have much of a take here right now on this Yu Darvish, Madison Bumgarner matchup. Like your numbers are showing, it's not too far off from the true line, a little skewed towards San Diego, which makes sense. But yeah, pretty spot on that one.
Yeah, there's a little value on Arizona in this game. So at least there was at the time of betting it.
Any interest in Ohtani to start things off hot, Mike?
In what way?
To hit a home run.
Oh, no.
Nice.
No.
I forgot to let everybody know. I do have a play on that Atlanta game myself. I'm on the under. It's the first 5 under 4.5. I got that minus 102 this morning at a really good number at FanDuel. I don't really know why. DraftKings had minus 120, which I think is the correct price.
Wow. We crushed the market on the Diamondbacks game. That's why you're probably looking at me like, what do you mean there's value on it? we played this last night in the Discord server. Massive movement on the Diamondback side.
So, nice.
I played Diamondbacks plus 135 in the first 5 innings last night. So that number is down to plus 110, plus 115.
That's nice. Nice. I either played it mindlessly or I didn't play it because I was like half falling asleep last night pretty early, trying to stay up and watch. What was I even watching? Something was on.
Yeah, as far as first 5 innings, there are a couple reasons why I'm playing first 5s earlier in the season. And these are first 5 money lines. If you follow me last year, I actually do play a bit of first 5 run lines as well, which would be just a minus half a run to actually be winning at the end of there. But there's a couple reasons that we play them there. Yes, it's definitely to avoid some of the bullpen rotations that we may or may not know what they look like. We're definitely projecting all of these starting pitchers, at least in the games that I've bet on, to last 5 innings into this game. We're right around that 5th inning mark. And then because we're playing 0.3 of a unit on most of the plays, you also bake in that push condition, which not something you typically want to really bake in, but you do have the push condition on the money line in the first 5 innings, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, to me at least it does. I think it just, for me, another thing, like, besides keeping that uncertainty of the bullpen out of it, it's also just usually a little bit like less sharp sometimes. And first half unders are like some of the sharpest bets I think you can take, because people definitely, unders can definitely get hurt by that overtime, right? Those extra innings, and it's just not going to be. We don't like losing those bets. Like, you're sitting there at like 9 and it's like 4-4 or something, or you have like 9.5 and it's 4-4, and like, you just get crushed in OT, or I always call OT at the end of basketball season, but you get crushed in extras. And like, who wants that? So I think there's always a chance at that, especially on days where things could be rusty. You might not be able to get an edge one team over the other. I wouldn't be shocked on some extra inning games today, because I feel like that's just not what people are thinking. So yeah, you sort of take that out of the equation, which I really like, and you don't end up paying too much of a price for it either. You definitely need to be careful with like your minus 120s and like making sure you're getting the best line and shopping around for these first 5s. Really, shopping is so important in baseball, like maybe more so than like any other sport, just because line prices usually vary before the actual line. Like in basketball, the line's going to shift, but in baseball, the price is going to shift. And it's just a very different game. So if you're just getting used to baseball, you're shopping for prices, not for like the line all the time. Like a line can move like 4 times before the actual, game result changes, right? So just very interesting to think about. But yeah, it's a short first slate. Going to be a good one. We have a couple double headers already because that Yankees Red Sox game that was supposed to already be happening in like an hour got rained out. But should be a great day. Excited for the first day of plays, and we will see you tomorrow, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, we will be back most days here. I'm dropping the Discord link for anyone that doesn't have it. You can also search for it now by Number Edge as well. But yeah, join us over there. I will definitely be live betting these games this afternoon. So
yes, sir.
We'll see you over there and go hang out. And tomorrow's Friday. We're back tomorrow, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll
hell
be back
yeah.
tomorrow, guys.